list. So obviously, I got Milton as a top contender. I mean, I just feel like they're, again, I always say it on the show, but they're the class of GHSA girls lacrosse. I mean, they are. They've won 16 titles of the 18, right? I think 1 year wasn't played because of COVID, but they have consistently won their competition. We have a Hall of Fame coach in Tim Gobby. We had him on the show before. But I'm interested to see, will there be a challenger this year? Obviously Milton had a different team this year, probably not as loaded as in years past. A lot of youth, a lot of young players, a lot being kind of thrown into new roles. So they still had a pretty good record. Still went 14-4. All their losses were out of state. And that was to Our Lady of Good Counsel, Cardinal Gibbons, NC, and then St. Stephen and St. Agnes in Virginia. So what Coach Gobby is going to do is he's always going to have his group loaded. He's always going to have his group ready to go. And he does that by the scheduling. And scheduling is very important. We've seen why teams like Cedar Grove, in comparison to football, why they've been able to win it all. Trying to think of another team. Teams like Walton that have been really good also in football, just how tough of a schedule they make for themselves. And sometimes you'd be like, well, why would they schedule so tough? And sometimes they take their lumps early in the season. But for me, it's like I'd rather take my lumps, learn from it, and then be better on it, be more prepared coming to playoffs so I can compete and contend for a title. I think those things are all important. So that's why I got Milton as number one. I think until somebody knocks them off or shows me something different, got to keep them at number one. And then number two is Blessed Trinity. They've been so great all year. Special shout out to them. They had a very impressive win, 18-10, beating Fellowship Christian. And you can make the argument they should be number one in 5A, 6A, or just they should be number one on this list as far as a contender because what they've been able to do. And they are actually the second most accomplished program in state history. And what they've been able to do. They are in there year in, year out, competing, contending for titles, and they're going for more. They are looking to become the first or have their first 4-peat in program history. So they already won 3 straight. They're looking for a 4-peat this year. So had to put them as a top contender year in, year out. Just what they're able to do, what they're able to accomplish. And then last but not least, one of my sleepers. Obviously we talked about some of them, but I'm going to go Mountain View. So I just talked about them winning their first area championship, 15-6 against Brookwood about a week ago. But I like what they've been able to do. They led by their attacker Amina Plummer. She's averaging 2.5 goals per game, and Bailey Donnelly, who's averaging 2.2. And we just talked about their performance in that vital and critical championship game and what they were able to do. So can't wait to see what they do. They were on a nice win streak. They had won 8 of their final 9 games. Their only loss coming to a cross-classification game against Greater Atlanta Christian. But other than that, they have been